Hey guys, Hybrid here. Usually I would make a video like this, but I was talking to someone, a friend of mine, and he is a big gaming nerd, right? Like Dota, League of Legends. Well, not really League of Legends. He loves Dota though, and StarCraft, Dungeons and Dragons. He plays a lot of, he plays a lot of those games, and he gets picked on by a few people for it. People make jokes on him at times for it. I think it's fine. Like, who am I to judge? Because look at what I do half the time. Comic book stuff. Like, no one just goes out there and just preaches the comic book gospel of like the Celestials or like the Skrulls, Fantastic Four, anything like that. So I see a lot of people, right, that they're nerds, geeks, whatever you want to call it, and they hide it. And I think that's stupid. I wear it on my sleeve. Half my clothes is comic book clothes. When people need comic book related items, like friend-wise, they usually come to me for them. Like if there's a superhero day at your school, or at least at my school, when there's a superhero day, when I was in high school, people came to me and they were like, hey, do you have a shirt I can use? Do you have anything like this? And my people know I love comic books, and they respect me for it. And I usually wouldn't make this type of video, like I said before, but my friend said something to me that really got to me, and I think I want to share it to everybody because I think it's important. And my friend told me that, it's hard being a nerd, and sometimes I wish I wasn't a nerd. And to that, I say no. Because, nerds, you can look however you want. Like Vin Diesel. Look at Vin Diesel. When you see him, what would you think? Would you think that he would spend a lot of his time playing Dungeons and Dragons? No, but he does. He said that in an interview. I'm not even making that up. So, like me, for example, I know a lot of people when they meet me, they don't think I'm a nerd. Like, I'm 6'2", 215 pounds. That's not your stereotypical nerd. And I know tons of nerds who are in shape, they're athletic, and that's how it is. Because I know a lot of people, when they hear the word nerd, and they say the word nerd, they use that as like a socially awkward person. And, like someone who knows a lot about a particular type of thing. Like, you could be a nerd of science. You could be a nerd of Pokemon, video games, music, TV, pop culture in general, or comic books. But, don't be embarrassed about it. That's what I'm saying. Like, embrace it. Like me, when I was younger, this was me when I was younger, right? What you see right here, like, I did have glasses, by the way, but I was socially awkward. I'd play a lot by myself. I wouldn't do that much with other people, and I'd retreat to comic books. I didn't play that many video games. I never really did. I was a very active child. I played a lot of sports and everything like that. But I went from that, and for a period of time, I actually hid my comic book nerd-ishness, if that makes sense. And I don't agree with that. Like, I learned later on that you got to be with people that embrace you for who you are, and you can't conform to what everybody else wants you to be, because then you'll never be happy, and they may be happy, but they're not going to really be happy with you. They're going to be happy with what they think you are, the illusion of you. And I think today a lot of people have this problem. That's why I'm making this video, is to say, don't be embarrassed by your nerdness. Like, I know people on the football team that you're like, oh, you're such a dork, but they respect you when you do come out, when you embrace it. Like, also, I'm an Eagle Scout. Boy Scouts isn't all that popular of a thing. I ask anyone that's in Boy Scouts. Do most of them go around preaching that they're in Boy Scouts? No, because they might get picked on for it. I personally didn't care if anyone would pick on me. I would dare someone to pick on me. But it's one of those things where if you get your Eagle Scout later on, people respect you for it. That's a big accomplishment. No one can ever take that away from you. But it's one of those things where you need to embrace it, and you need to be yourself, and you need to show strength through it, because that's who you are. And people need to be who they really are. Like, example, I'm wearing a Batman shirt right now because I love Batman. He's not my favorite character, but the character is really cool. And I think people need to really embrace what they're like. I'll walk around all the time, just wearing this. Just like, he's wearing this, you know, Batman shirt. Yes, it's a tank top, and you know, people will be like, oh, that's cool, you're wearing a tank top, but that's not the point. The point is, I am wearing it on myself, you know what I mean? I'm wearing my nerdness on my badge. Half my shirts are superheroes and comic books, because I don't care what other people think, and that's what I'm trying to present in this video, is to show you, you know, don't be ashamed of it, you know, be yourself. Don't be like my friend who, you know, I'm working with him on it, but he was really embarrassed with himself. And I have a few friends like that. A few of them, you know, they also play like Dungeons and Dragons, you know, PC gaming, but they're not like that. But this friend in particular, his name's Zach, actually. I'm not going to say his full name, and no, it's not you, Zach, from the discussion. Different Zach. But, you know, that really just hurts me, because as someone, I consider myself a nerd. You know, like, considering how much time I've put into comic book related things and how much stuff I've read for comic books and all that stuff, I would consider myself a comic book nerd in that fashion. And, you know, it's just one of those things where, ask anyone that knows me, say, is Josh a comic book nerd? They'll be like, yes, he is. You know, ask them, be like, isn't that not cool? And he's gonna be like, he doesn't care. Because that's the point. Don't care what other people think, especially if you're in high school. I know a lot of people in high school, they are like worried about the social structure. Don't worry about that. It matters at the time, but once you get out of high school, guess what? You go to college, nothing matters. You probably won't see those people ever again, depending on what college you go to. And even if you do go to a college they're going to, you don't have to see them. You don't have to restrain yourself to that structure. And also at the same time, this is the perfect time to be a nerd. Nerds are leading the world right now. Literally, I'm not even lying. Computer gaming, coding, that goes with programming also. CEOs, all the rich people, the people that girls want to be with now, nerds. Same thing with comic books, comic book movies, more popular than ever. Years ago, you can never come out and be like, I'm a Spider-Man fan, I'm a Thor fan, I'm a Black Widow fan, if that's your forte. You couldn't really say that back in the day. Now you can, and no one's going to argue with you. People that might have picked on you back in the day, they will agree with you now too, because now is the time. And I may have rambled and gone off on tangents in this video, but I just want to impart on you guys, be a nerd. Don't be afraid of it. You know, if you're a nerd, embrace being a nerd. You know, like, no one but you can make you feel bad about being a nerd. People can say things to you, and you have the option to either accept what they said as fact or to refute what they say and be a strong-willed person. You know, be Green Lantern, have willpower. Like, it's hard for me to really come across clearly in a short amount of time that I wanted to what I'm trying to say. But what I'm trying to say, to sum it up, is be yourself. Don't let other people dictate who you are. And, you know, that being a comic book nerd, movie buff nerd, what have you, just be it, you know? Don't be ashamed of who you are, because then you're never going to be happy with yourself. And you know, I would never make a video like this usually for the channel, because this doesn't really fit the theme of the channel, but I just really felt the need to make this video because, you know, it's important. And I think a lot of people, you know, when they see me, for example, a lot of people, you know, like using me as examples sometimes as a cool comic book nerd. And I'm like, no, there's no cool comic book nerds. You're a nerd, and you just embrace it, and you live with it, and you work with it, and that's who you are, and you make people accept you for it, because either they'll accept you for who you are, or, you know, they're not really your friends. So yeah, this is Hybrid. I hope you guys appreciated this video, especially you, Zach, watching it. You know, I love you, man, and, you know, I don't want you to be afraid of who you are. So it's Hybrid. Wow, the camera's really high up. I'll see you guys later.